I love what the Habs have done. Suzuki delivered, Caulfield delivered two down the stretch. We were talking about this last week. I still, man, I'm going with the devil I know here. I'm going with the Lightning.
I really want to pick Montreal. I really, really do. But Tampa?
I'm reluctantly doing the same thing.
Clearing the crease. Oh. Clearing the crease. Hey, hey,
Welcome back to the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by Ozune.net. He is the Calder Trophy winner, Andrew Raycroft, the Razor, your favorite Stanley Cup winner, Mike Commodore, and I'm Cybulski. The playoffs are here. The playoffs are here. Let's go. And this is the time we live for, gentlemen. This is where you got all those contracts, buddy.
Yeah, this is where I made my money for sure. I didn't do much during too many of those regular seasons, so it definitely is exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Razor, like when you brought that point up there a few weeks ago about how the NHL views the first round, when it comes to how like the seedings and it's the best hockey, and you're right, and they are right. Like the first round is exciting, and there's games going all the time, and the games are all heated up. So, yeah, it's exciting, especially if you're in it. The 82 games are finally over, and you can everybody basically starts fresh that's in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, you just got to get in the dance, and anything can happen. So it's definitely exciting for your player as well.
Yeah, these are the 3 days that the only time I really miss it.
Yeah.
And the one where I can dislocate my brain from all of the work that went into it and all the shitty mornings and the practices and the travel and everything, where I'm like, ooh, today would be like, I'm here in Boston. They're going to practice today for the first time going into the playoffs. Like that is the best practice of the year. Everyone is so happy and excited and hopeful and nervous, and you're scouting the other team. You're doing video. This is literally, if you're in the playoffs, the best 3 days prior to that game one there's nothing like it. There really isn't anything like it as a pro athlete.
Razor, you hit on something for both you guys. Are the butterflies real, like right when the playoffs start?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Cause it's a different game. It's a different level. There's guys that are going to elevate. There's guys that can't elevate. There's guys that thrive in the kind of hockey that gets played. There's no question. You get into playoff mode. Everything around you goes away. You tell the wife, the girlfriend, the dogs, like, I'm out until you see me again with a loss and no beard. Like this is what we're doing now. And everyone knows it, and everyone around you supports it. It's the best. The butterflies get going, no question.
Kami, what's the most nervous you ever got for a playoff? Would it be Game 7-06, or is there like a moment you can think of like that the butterflies were that real in the postseason?
I would say probably where the butterflies were most real would be my first playoff game. So that would have been when I came in, when there were all those injuries in Calgary and we were playing Vancouver. So I came in Game 4, which was in Calgary, but I hadn't really been there for most of the year, and, my first playoff game, and things were actually off to a pretty good start. We're playing Vancouver. Everybody's all fired up, and I'm like, oh man, don't screw this up. And I wasn't sure how much I was going to play. And then I ended up playing a ton against Vancouver. I think we've chatted before, years ago there. They threw one of those games on. I was on the power play, and I didn't remember that at all. I was like, oh, that can't. I'm like, oh my God, I'm on the power play. So yeah, that was probably the most nervous I've been. When I was in Carolina, it was more excited. Like I'd been there the whole year. I knew I was playing bunch. I knew I was going to be relied upon. I was like, I knew what to expect a little more as far as personally, but Razor, you just made a good point. I think what I got most excited for was I knew I enjoyed the bigger moments personally as me. I wasn't a real good player or anything like that, but I knew when the playoff hockey came, that kind of hockey was right up my alley, where it's I didn't have to worry so much about skill guys like picking my pocket. It was like, oh, hey, these guys are going to hit me, and that was right. I was like, perfect. Like, hit me all you want. Yeah. That's, I'm kind of built for that a little bit. So give me a little extra time kind of with the puck, which I wasn't so good at. But anyways, yeah, it is very exciting. There's no question.
They're nowhere near the postseason for either franchise, but low key, Vancouver, Calgary, some classic playoff matchups over the years, and that 0-4-1 like flies under the radar for some, but we've talked about that a few times on this show. And
there was lots going on.
That was wild.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah,
it was a great series. I know Canucks fans probably don't love it because it didn't work out, but there was lots going on.
But even the drama at the end, Tommy.
The drama at the end was crazy.
Jovo in the box.
Which I had forgotten about that angle of it until we had him on and he brought it up, and then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, that is how it worked out. Anyways, I forgot all that, but it was great.
Just crazy. Hey, just a quick reminder, everybody, if you're enjoying the show and you're enjoying the content we bring you here on the Clearing the Crease podcast powered by Ozone, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify, and make sure you're following along on social media, wherever you're following along on Instagram, X, TikTok, or anywhere else. So don't forget that the Clearing the Crease podcast is powered by Ozone.net. The road to winning the Stanley Cup, it's wide open. And the clearest route to winning big is to play on Ozone.net. Ozone's got you covered for all props, game lines, futures from now until the Cup final and beyond. So make your power play and score big with Ozone. It's your turn now. Okay, let's dive in. Playoff matchups. We'll start in the East because we know all those matchups as we hit record on this episode. So let's go through this. And it's interesting to look at the seedings here. The way things we talked about back and forth with the playoffs and the 1 versus 8, whether they need to tweak the system from what it is now. How about this? You got Carolina, Ottawa. That's a 1 versus 6. Buffalo, Boston, 2v5. Tampa, Montreal is a 3v4. And then Pittsburgh and Philly. How about this? 7 versus 8. So how about just what everybody dreams of, a good 7 versus 8 matchup in round number 1. So let's go through these. Carolina, Ottawa, the Sens are in. What a run down the stretch against the top team in the Eastern Conference. Commie, your Carolina Hurricanes. Who you got? Ottawa? Actually, look, this is the Commie Bowl.
There's lots of potential Commie Bowls. There's a few of them. Yeah.
I think there's a few Razor ones too.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Who we got? Ottawa, Carolina.
I got to go Carolina. I'm just going to go with the better team. They've been good all year.
I like how you hesitated.
No, I got some hesitation here in a couple of these series, and there's teams that I know. Hey, like I should be picking the Carolina Hurricanes here, and this is kind of one of. Yeah. But the Sens, thank God for the Sens. We've had a field day a little bit with the Ottawa Senators over the year. It is very entertaining. You never know what's going to happen. Yes. Our boy Steos and all of his statements, and at the end of the day, the Sens made it. So good for them. I think they're a live dog for sure. I'm going to go with Carolina, but my comfort level is like I heard a good point the other day. Yeah, my comfort level is like this. Somebody, I know who it was. I was listening because I was up in Calgary the other day. Jamie McLennan made a good point. Now, at the end of the day, it's a team game, but he's like, hey, if you put these two rosters together and you draft them, so you have to draft players just from those two rosters. He's like, the top 2 or 3 picks are probably going to be Ottawa Senators with Stützle, Sanderson, Kachuk, however you want to, maybe, Aho's up there too. Don't get me wrong. Carolina has some good players, but I think Ottawa's lives, but I will go with my Canes. Unfortunately, I love my Sens too, but I'll go with the Canes.
I could see a scenario where here in the East, every dog wins. Everybody's starting on the road. Everybody starting on the road this weekend wins their series. The East is such a coin flip for every series, and the 1-8 technically, 1 wild card 2 is just as, like Commie said, live as everything else. Ottawa is going to be a tough out. Ottawa presents tough situation for Carolina. That man-on-man defense with Ottawa playing a lot like Florida does. Carolina could not solve the Florida Panthers. Offensively, Ottawa is very similar. Pucks are going to the net. Guys are shooting pucks to the net. There's lots of rotation with Sanderson and Shabbat in and out, up and down. I think Ottawa is going to present Carolina a huge problem. And it's the big if, like all of these series, like all of the playoffs, if Linus Ullmark has his brain straight, has his body straight, has his emotions straight, that's going to be the difference maker. Because to your point, Kami, if you're drafting goaltenders, you're picking Linus Ullmark first in that series. They have a massive green check mark over whatever Carolina is putting in goal. I think Senators could be a real problem for the entire Eastern Conference going forward.
Yeah, it's just which one shows up, right? Which Linus is you're going to get. You know what? Look, my Ottawa is showing all through on this pick, and I know they say don't bet with your head, not with your heart. Give me the sense. I love the run that they went on down the stretch. You know, low key, Travis Green, coach of the year, like what he did this year. I mean, we talked about this franchise being a dumpster fire just months ago, and somehow, some way, they scratched and clawed from the damn basement of the East, and here they are in the postseason. They nearly jumped over Boston too, right at the end. It's just wild. I think the Sens carry that momentum over. Sanderson's ready to go. He's unbelievable. Thomas Shabbat too, with what he's done down the stretch as well. Everything that you said, give me the Sens to pull off the shock and awe in an upset that I don't think is going to be as shocking. So,
no, it won't be.
Okay, Boston, Buffalo, Razor. How about this one?
Yeah, listen, this one's close to home for me, so I'm like a little, I feel a little awkward picking. Yeah, like
you're picking Boston. We get it. Yeah, I would do the same thing.
But and it's not. It won't be shocking if Boston wins. To the same point, like this isn't just pulling shit out of my ass. It's they're going to be really hard to play against. They've got the goaltending check mark. Jeremy Swayman's better than whatever Luukkonen probably gets thrown out on the ice. I like the experience there. I like the fact the Bruins are going to be really hard to play against. Kastelik and Jeannot are going to be flying around, running Owen Power and Rasmus Dahlin through the end boards all series long. And I think they can wear them down. The big key for Buffalo is getting on the rush. If the Bruins don't take care of the neutral zone, Buffalo can pick them apart.
I agree with everything you said. I think I'm looking at this too. I mean, Boston experience wise, Buffalo has had an incredible year, an incredible 3/4 of a year. They've been on fire. I would imagine those guys are really, really excited, which is awesome. But at the same time too, like you got to keep things in check. You can't just be going buck wild out there. Before you know it, you could be losing a game or two at home. But I can't pick against my Sabres. It's a great story. So I'm going to pick with my heart. I'm going to go for the Buffalo. I'm picking the Buffalo Sabres. But once again, that's 2 for 2. Comfort level, not great. Not great. I could see Boston pulling this off too.
Yeah. I'm glad you're finally picking Buffalo after taking Columbus over them going back all those years ago.
Yeah, God, things have changed.
Razor, I think exactly to your point. Like, I think Boston has the experience, and I want to defer to Boston with the experience on that. But man, I want to cheer for Buffalo. Give me the Sabres. This is probably more of a heart pick as well for me, but let's go Buffalo. Carry that momentum. The fact that what they've done, honestly, since November, since Kevin Adams, right before Kevin Adams got fired, they really went on a heater. So, executive of the year, Kevin Adams and the Buffalo Sabres.
Poor guy. He's not watching this series, that guy. He is not watching the playoffs.
For the Bruins, I'll tell you that.
Oh, is he? Is he ever?
Okay. Montreal, Tampa. I love what the Habs have done. Suzuki delivered, Caulfield delivered too down the stretch. We were talking about this last week. I still, man, I'm going with the devil I know here. I'm going with the Lightning, the experience. And obviously Vasilevsky is a big check mark as we talk about check marks in playoff series. Who do you guys have in this one, Kami? Tampa, Montreal.
I really want to pick Montreal. I really, really do. But Tampa, That's hard to pick against. So, I mean, I hate to do this to all my French friends. I'm cheering for the Canadiens. They've had another good year. You know, they were ahead of schedule a little bit last year, kind of got bounced. They've carried that over. They've had an excellent year pretty much from start to finish this year. But it's Tampa, and Tampa's been very good all year as well. And experience, I think, does mean a little something. So I'll not regretfully, that's not the right word. I can't think of the word I'm thinking of.
Reluctantly.
There it is. Thank you, Razor. I will reluctantly pick the Tampa Bay Lightning.
I'm reluctantly doing the same thing. I like Montreal. I like what they're building, but it's just as long. And, you know, again, they're the big question mark. Hedman and Radish. Where are these guys on the back end? But I think even if one of those guys are gone, Montreal's back end without Noah Dobson, I feel like Tampa's going to get to them. Vasilevsky's an X factor. I'm picking Tampa.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Montreal.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It's nothing personal.
You can hate on us and you can laugh at us in round 2. With
Montreal Magic in the playoffs. That's the one that, like, you can't touch that. You can't feel that. The intangible, that could be the thing that changes things when they go back up there. But, you know, again, head over heart here, it's Tampa.
There we go. Yeah. Okay. Last but not least in the East, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, the Battle of PA. Where are we going on this one, Rays?
Well, this is like, again, to the NHL in the bracket, right? If 7 and 8, these guys wouldn't be anywhere. But this is an unbelievable TV matchup. It's a ratings bonanza for the NHL. They are going to make serious money off of this series. Boston, Buffalo, holy, like the ratings will be through the roof for both of these. So that works out business wise. I'm going Sid. I'm always going Sid. I love what Philly's done. I love what Talk's done. I like Dan Vladar, but he hasn't been here. Stuart Skinner is going to get overlooked here, but he's going to feel like this is no big deal. No pressure on him. Nope. Doesn't have everyone in Edmonton yelling at him. He's just nice and calm and relaxed. And I'm taking Sid. I'm just taking Sid.
I hear all that. God, this is another one where I'm like,
Conn Smythe winner Stu Skinner.
Oh, yeah.
Again, if either team wins, again, all 4 of these. No, we're going to do this in 2 weeks again. We're going to say, well, you know, not surprised.
That's
not surprised.
a really good point with Skinner. I mean, he's there, but the Philly fan, he's sitting there. He's like, man, this is so nice. Oh. You know, give up a couple.
He's literally having coffee by himself at Starbucks down the street. He's walking around. No one's telling him he sucks. It's like unbelievable.
He's nice and relaxed. I'm going to go with Philly, though. I'll go with the underdog. But, I mean, Pittsburgh has the experience. I mean, it's never good to pick against Sid. I realize this, but Philadelphia's on a heater. I'll just go with them. I like their team. I think they're a little ahead of schedule as well. So they've been hot. I'll reluctantly pick them to keep it going. Give me the Flyers.
You know, everybody talking about how great it is that Sid and Gino are back in the postseason as they should be. But like, shout out to Philly back in the playoffs too. It's just right when the orange and black attack is back in the Stanley Cup playoffs too. So that all being said, give me the Penguins. I mean, I'm leaning to Sid. So, okay. As we record this, we've got one matchup locked in the West, and that is the match we've been talking about for pretty much 6 months. And that's Dallas, Minnesota. Should be just, look, I think Tampa, Montreal is probably going to be the series of series in the East. This is going to be the one in the West, the Wild and the Stars. Where are we going on this one here? Oh, I mean, look, I think Dallas is coming out of the West this year. That's my shot. So where do you guys?
You got Dallas.
I'm taking Dallas. Where are you going on this one?
Where is Rupe Hintz? Where is Rupe Hintz? Because he could be the linchpin of this series.
Yeah.
If he misses 4 games, I'm picking the Wild either way. Dallas has been to the conference finals 3 straight years. We talk about how much hockey that's been for Florida. I think it might get Dallas here. I feel like Minnesota, the Boldies, the Quinn Hughes, the Hughes, all those factors, the magic those guys have had, Billy Guerin winning a gold. I'm going Minnesota, but that feels like really underdog kind of territory because Dallas is a wagon.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an awesome series. Like I said, this has been set for a while. We've talked about it. I think it's going to be incredibly fun to watch. God, I kind of want to pick. I want to pick Minnesota, but as a brand new kind of fresh fake Dallas Stars alumni, I feel like I better pick Dallas. So I'll pick Dallas. But I think
one of us two alumni have to pick
I'll go
Dallas.
ahead and take Dallas.
Hey, Razor's a star, right?
I
as
am.
well?
So I took the other. I took the.
I'll go Dallas, but I think the series is going to be awesome. We all love Quinn Hughes. He's a great player. But like we just talked about earlier, the game changes a little bit, and he isn't the biggest guy in the world, which isn't the end all be all. Don't get me wrong, but I feel
can Dallas get to him?
Can Dallas get to him? Because I mean, he's going to have a crosshair on him. They're going to be coming for him.
Whoa.
Now, can they get to him? If they start tossing him around, which they are going, Jamie Benn is going to be licking his chops.
Jamie Benn's he is going every whistle. He's going right at Hughes.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to get his stick. He's slashing him on the wrist. Benny is going to be a bully, a big time bully out there.
So it's going to be real fun. Go ahead. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, and look, I mean, just during the regular season, Quinn Hughes is obviously in the conversation for the best defenseman on the planet, but he's just been okay. In the words of what Travis Green is kind of like to use as a coach, he's okay. Like, he's not terrible, but he's not superhuman in the postseason. So let's see if Hughes is a different type of Hughes, if he can level up in the postseason. But yeah, when the game gets harder, can he fight through that? And exactly like you guys both said, it's going to get hard for Quinn Hughes. So can he fight through that? Because, I can think of a playoff series between Edmonton and Vancouver 2 years ago. Evan Bouchard was much better than Quinn Hughes in that 7-game series a couple of years ago.
Boosh bomb.
And you know what? State of hockey. Yeah, the Boosh bomb. And he's been good this year too. Okay. So there's some early looks at the playoff series, and we'll hit on more as things get going here. So excited for these, like some great matchups, and obviously the West going right down to the finale of the regular season to still try to figure out all the seeding. So, okay. Coaches.
Oh boy.
Rick Bowness. Oh boy. Let's go back to Columbus alumni to start this one up. But Rick Bowness absolutely tears into the Jackets. I mean, it's funny how Rick Bowness, and Razor, I do want to get your perspective on this as well. Rick Bowness has a reputation of being one of the nicest human beings in the hockey universe, in a sport that you can run into some salty characters. And Rick, when he went out in Winnipeg, kind of did this through kind of a pipe bomb. And here he is again with a pipe bomb, tearing into the Jackets after they lose a 2-1 game to the Capitals to close out the year. Fair or foul, Kami?
Well, before I get started, I do have thoughts on this. I was thinking about this last night, or a couple nights ago when he came out with it. He has done this before, right? Hasn't he?
He did it to Winnipeg.
He did it in Winnipeg. Okay. My thoughts,
a year or two ago.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago. When I was listening to him talk, I'm like, didn't this guy just do this? Look, it's like you said, his reputation, very nice guy, good communicator and everything. It's not that I hate, and I saw this clip, full disclosure, some people, I've been getting torched a little bit on Instagram. I had a few drinks up there in Calgary, got back to my hotel room, saw it, and I'm like, well, I'm going to make some comments. And I'm getting kind of teed up there a little bit. It's not. I don't hate what he said. It's not that at all. Like the Columbus Blue Jackets are used to losing. I mean, I was part of it. Look at their track record. He's not wrong, and it's not that I hate what he said. It's just I just don't get the timing. Like it's over. Like the year is over, and now you're torching the guys. Like you had, you lose your last 6 games at home or whatever. It's like, okay, well, were you doing that after you lost 2 in a row or 3 in a row, or you're just saving this for the end when there's?
I mean, in fairness, he did try to go down this road. I want to say about 2 weeks ago too, when things were going off the rails.
Okay,
so
all right.
He did try it already.
Okay, okay, well that's good. Okay, well then I'll take that part back. But I don't know. It makes for good media, makes for good clips. I understand that. I agree. Like, I don't disagree with what he said, like at all. I just don't really. It almost kind of sounded like he was kind of begging for a job too, a little bit. I don't agree with doing it at the end of it. Like, hey, the season is over. The time to rip the guys in the media, that ship has sailed. Just if you want to rip them in person or rip the team in person at the end, that's fine. Go right ahead. But I just don't really, I don't get once it's done, it's done. Look, summer started, like it's time to move on. I just don't agree with the timing, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it is hard for players to deal with that timing because there's nothing you can do about it. Now you have to answer to that. It puts guys in a tough spot. Now, I'll take the other side of it from there. I didn't love Werenski's comments after either. I didn't think Werenski needed to go and say he shouldn't have said that. I thought Werenski, as the leader of that group who hasn't won it all, should have said he's right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You just say he's right. Don't say I don't think he should have said we're losers, and I don't think he should have said we don't care, because I would want one of my leaders, and there's a bunch of guys that would have said he's right. We have guys in here that don't care about losing enough. Just say that and allow the organization, allow you to be the leader, follow in behind that. Don't touch on the fact that we're losers or we don't care. You don't even have to, because everyone knows they care. Of course they care. Like, they're pro hockey, but they've never proven that. And when it got hard, like Bones said, they sucked.
Yeah.
The last 3 weeks of the year, they weren't good. So you can't, it's not like they played really hard for 3 weeks and then lost on the last day. They played really bad the last 3 weeks. And as a player, I would have like, Werenski's not going anywhere. Werenski has the hammer on this organization. He can fire Bones if he wants to, but behind the scenes, take it, embrace it, and be the guy that kind of backs that up. So other players who are actually not doing their job get their tower buzzed by the leader of the team too. So I would have loved Werenski to kind of take it, own it, and lean into it a little bit more for the rest of that group.
I think, to the point, Kami, that you make, there's just no opportunity to redeem yourself until 6 months down the road.
Yeah.
Right. The timing of that one is tricky, but I guess I wonder, Todd McClellan, maybe not so subtly did almost the same. Well, not to quite to the degree of
same thing.
The sizzle, but
and
calls out
Detroit.
Yeah,
and Detroit, you can see the leadership groups of both of these teams being the same, with two old school coaches that know something's wrong. Like, something's wrong in both of those places, right?
And McClellan's been trying the same thing for weeks for a guy who's not typically like that as well. So I guess, are we more likely to see this from coaches that are inclined to do this now that we know in a cap world, their shelf life is probably even shorter than what it was when those guys were younger?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of that. I think it's also, I think you're seeing...
Or is this a generation gap?
I think it's a generation. I was going to go there. I think you're seeing some of these old school hockey guys watching... And it can be as simple as in that last game, going around throwing pucks over the glass or talking to the other team and laughing and joke. Like, Detroit loses 8-1 to Florida on the road. Like, have a little pride. Like, that's like,
I guess
go
a bad
slash
team.
someone. It's the last game of this. Go ruin someone's summer. Like, go get somebody. Like that. That's like kind of our mentality. Like, that's where we played. Like, that wouldn't have happened. And you would be petrified of your year-end meeting if you lost 8-1 in that last game.
Yeah.
Like, every single person in Detroit should be absolutely peeing their pants having to go talk to Stevie Y at the end of the year after what they did.
Yeah, that was, Detroit. I mean,
your wings, Kami, your wings, they did puck it up.
They pucked it up. They pucked it up big time. The one thing I wanted to this year, that, like I've said the whole year, is I really wanted the Detroit Red Wings to get in there. And it looked good for a long time, and then they completely pucked it up. And like we just touched on, when the game got hard, those guys disappeared. And how do you change that? I mean, it's the same, like we just said, it's the same thing as the Blue Jackets. And you've got these leadership groups there that the guys that have been there for a long time, they're used to losing. They don't win. And I don't know. It's a really good question. How do you change that? I don't know. I don't know. I've been thinking about it because I think there's a little bit of a fan question later or whatever. It's how do you change when you have guys there that are used to losing? It needs to change. How you do that, I'm not certain.
Yeah, I don't know if either roster is great enough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you look at Detroit, even you look at Columbus, outside of Werenski, there's not a lot of guys that you can look at and say that is a cornerstone franchise, bona fide. You know what I mean? I don't mind it. Look, it may seem like a generation gap for both those coaches to kind of go the route that they're going, but I do think, and we're seeing this in other realms of life and society right now, I think these are just guys trying to create a form of accountability that in a lot of different walks of life, we've kind of lost that. And just trying to hold people accountable and accountability. I think we need more of it. Again, I come from the young ages too here. So we need accountability. And I respect Bones for trying. I respect McClellan for trying that. And, is it going to get through to this generation in this sort of approach? Maybe not, but I like the fact that they're at least trying for accountability in 2026. Okay. Alex Ovechkin finishes the season, 32 goals on the season, 929 for his career, 71 from 1,000. Lots of accolades. He'll think about it. Mum's the word. There was no fanfare to say this is the final season and doing the celebration throughout the league. But did we see the last of Ovi, Razor?
55% yes, 45 no. I get the sense that they're going to do their meetings. They're going to have a chat. He's going to look at the fact that he's got to play hockey in April, May, June, July, August, September. He's got 6 months before he plays again. And at that age, 6 months is a long time to have to get ready for a season. I can see, I'm leaning that was it. He didn't want the fanfare. He had no interest in that. He got it last season. He doesn't need to go on tour. I think he knows if he comes back, he's got to go on tour because that's got to be it if he goes again. He didn't take a defensive zone draw all season long. I think the organization might be like, we might need to kind of go forward. I know you get 30 goals every year, but this isn't working either. I'm leaning that he's done.
I hope he's done. Personally, look, I'm not the biggest Alex Ovechkin fan in the world, but he's had an incredible career. It's been a hell of a run. He's been an excellent player. In saying that, I think, and I like the fact that the no fanfare or whatever, some of these tours.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, I like that. It's like, hey, look, like, I don't need that. Like
the Kopitar one was a lot this year.
Yeah, like that's a lot. And can't be, and that's like more of a basketball thing to me, to put it shortly. Exactly. I saw, look, I mean, he's getting up there in age. I saw him after the last game there in front of the microphone. He kind of looked like me. I mean, he didn't exactly. I mean, I'm just going to say, I looked at him. I'm like, man, that hoodie looks a little tight. And I'm sure it wasn't a small. I hope he's done. I think that's enough. I think it's been a hell of a ride. And I think, the organization, you can't punt him out the door, even if that's, no. I think it's time for the Washington Capitals to move forward as well. It's been a hell of a run. Personally, I hope he's done.
Yeah, I mean, 71 goals from 1,000 at this rate, it might take 3 seasons to try to hit that based on where he's going. Hey, look, I mean, it's the fact that we're talking about a guy who's 40 years old who hit 32 goals this season, and only 7 of those were empty netters.
There's no real drop off. It's a good way to go.
Yeah. It's a good way to go. Look, a lot of fun. We can look at Sid and Ovi and the way that we talk about basketball almost 50 years ago when Magic and Bird came in as rookies and really helped save the NBA, and then Jordan took it to another level. I think Sid and Ovi did that for the National Hockey League. Guys, think back to like coming back after that year-long cancellation. They came back with those commercials with faceless players.
Oh, my
remember
God.
that? Those you guys are playing in the States, like that Versus.
Oh, no. Like,
right?
every single guy, like these next few years of contracts, whenever they sign these deals, they should also get on their private jets and personally fly to Moscow and kiss Ovi's ring and then fly back to Pittsburgh and kiss Sid's ring. Because none of this is happening without those two guys. What they did in the mid 2000s till McDavid showed up, that was all them.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well
no
done.
question.
And so I'll say this, if nothing else, thanks for the memories, Ovies. I still think back just the confidence that he had as a kid. I think I may have shared the story from his draft where he getting ready to interview him before the 2004 draft, and we're in Raleigh, North Carolina, we're down at the hotel, and we're in the parking lot, warm day, and a chipmunk runs by in the parking lot, and this kid is like just a rock, right? He's like Drago. And all of a sudden, a chipmunk runs by and he loses his mind, screaming and trying to run and catch a chipmunk, like, which is a sucker's game. And we are, and Don, me and his agent standing there along with the Russian translator. And I'm kind of like, what is going on here? The two of them are also perplexed, and they're just like, he's never seen a chipmunk before. And just here's 18-year-old, 6'2" Alex Ovechkin just, running around in the parking lot of this Carolina hotel, and just how fearless he was. So anyway, some wonderful memories. Okay, fan question this week. Joe's Trunk asks, it's a question more for Kami. I feel like, or it's more of a statement, Kami, but here it is. I feel like Columbus never risk anything on big players or trying to build a contender. It seems like some organizations really try to build to contend, and some look like they could care less. Would you agree with that statement?
I've thought a lot about this.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah,
or comment.
It's a hard one for me to answer anyways. I think the Columbus Blue Jackets are trying, and when they've made a couple of swings for guys. Now, the problem is they've also got burnt on that a few times as well, where guys not wanting to be there. Like, it's not like they're not trying. I know they're trying, but I also do think, like, how do I word it? Like, they're trying to their best of abilities, but I'm not sure if all the time if they know what they're doing. Like, I think there's some habits in that organization, and I don't want to get into details, but there's some habits in that organization behind the scenes that I wouldn't say is conducive with winning. That needs to change. Now, I don't know. Is it going to change? I don't know. There's been people that are there, and they've been there for a long time. But yeah, it is. I tried to kind of touch on a little bit earlier where it's like, some of these, the Columbus Blue Jackets are they're used to losing. And how do you pinpoint why? I'm not exactly sure. Are they? But to answer his question, do I think they're showing up and not trying to lose, but do I think they're okay with it? No, I don't think they're okay with it. I think they're trying to win. I don't know. I guess that maybe they don't hate losing enough. I don't know. It's tough for me to put into words. Razor, help me out.
I think it's just really hard to win.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it starts too. It's really, really hard. We're seeing that again. We see it every year. It's really hard to get in the playoffs. People are very nonchalant about playoffs. Like, oh, you're the 8th seed. Who cares? Like, no, it's really hard to be the 8th seed. Really, really hard to get into the playoffs. And you need people that have done it to know the moments that put you over the edge, whether that's coaches, general managers, players. And when you don't have those guys that really know or can know the exact time to give it to a team, give it to your teammates, hold people accountable, not just when it gets hard, but at the start of the season, first day of training camp, you need that guy. That you need 3 guys that are pushing everybody all the time. And I think everyone's sometimes takes it for granted of how good these teams are that make the playoffs year after year, the Tampa Bays, et cetera, of how hard they work behind the scenes to be there. They don't just show up October 8th and it works great. This is a full-time gig that you're always thinking about trying to make it. And when you're a team that doesn't have that, you're at a huge disadvantage.
I'll give all.
Well, and I think some draft luck too. I think at some
Sure.
point, right? Like, maybe you got to win a little bit. You really got to bottom out at some point to really hit that home run too, guys. But I don't know if Columbus has really had an amazing draft history.
No, that's true. You can go back to that and look. Hey, what happened a couple of years ago? I mean, to their best player, that's a catastrophe that you can't foresee, right? With the Johnny Gaudreau stuff, and obviously,
no, I mean they tried, right?
Yeah,
they tried.
That was incredibly,
and they got a big free agent.
I mean, they tried. I will say, I'll share one story that I heard, and this is going to sound really stupid, and I get for people who don't, or be like, kind of what he's talking about. But like last time I was in Columbus, what was that, last year or whatever? Whatever. I'm not going to tell you who I was talking to or the group of people, but like one thing that I was told is that like, players are coming in there and you got one of the this is like right around practice time. And you've got the assistant GM laid out on the massage table getting worked on by the medical staff. Like, and I know, like, and I
that's it. That says everything.
That kind of stuff cannot happen. Like you can't. Yeah. The dressing room is for the players. That's where the players go to get ready. The assistant general manager, who's the stat guy, you're not an athlete. If you want to get worked on, go like the rest of us do right now and go down the street and go get worked on at the PT place that's in the strip mall.
Yeah.
That's where you go. You don't go in the dressing room where the players are.
Maybe not Robert Kraft's, but
Yeah.
So
I wasn't referring
just
to
that practice, right?
Yeah.
Just that practice. If I'm walking out to practice and I see that, I'm not, the practice is gone.
Yeah.
That day's gone.
It's just,
right?
Yeah, it's like that kind of stuff is going on there. And maybe it changed in the last year. I don't know. But like that was one thing that I had heard that sticks out to me where it's like, man, you can't. That's not how you run things. Like that should not happen. And so, anyway,
hold on a second, Zach. I just need to get this shoulder.
I need my shoulders a little. I was typing on that computer, running numbers.
I was on AI a little too much here. Can you fix that wrist?
Hold on, Zach. Anyways, it's just stuff like that, and I get how some people might look at it and be like, "Well, what's the big deal?" But it is a big deal. Like that kind of stuff shouldn't happen. If you're like, that's a joke, to be honest. And
guys talk, right?
For sure.
Obviously, coming to your point, and Razor, like guys know, players know,
and you know.
To that point, there was a report out of The Athletic this week talking about Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment CEO Keith Pelly, who was sitting in on your boy Brad Treliving's trade deadline days, sitting in the Leafs war room. The report even suggests that Pelly came with a bunch of trades designed by AI. I guess, what do you believe with all this? And let me throw this to both of you. What is the most meddlesome story you've ever heard of by a boss or ownership?
Oh, man.
Besides massage parlors,
right? Well, I'll talk
for assistant general.
AI. I don't understand AI as well as maybe a lot of people do. So, but I'm just kind of picturing that, and then I'm kind of combining that with what he said that at the year-end conference or whatever when he came, and we're talking data centric, and I'm like, where are this is what's going on in Toronto? This could be very, very interesting to see how this is taken. And I mean, I can't see Brad Treliving loving it when he's got a guy who doesn't know anything about hockey coming in with an AI trade plan. But yeah, as far as like meddlesome owners, God, I don't know. Do you have one, Razor?
I didn't have any meddlesome owners in my time, or like even GMs that kind of got in the way of like it didn't really happen. And I never had an issue. I never saw an assistant general manager on the type massage. Like I never saw any of that stuff anywhere.
Yeah.
Razor,
I would be concerned about AI being involved in any hockey decisions to that level.
Razor, let me throw this at you quickly. Your time in Vancouver, there's been a lot of speculation about the Aquilinis being too hands-on.
Of course.
What was your experience from what you saw?
They had the party at the start of the year. They gave us a bunch of blueberries at the party from their farm, and that was basically all I got, from them. AV was there, and Mike Gillis was there. Those are two really strong personalities. Mike Gillis wasn't letting anyone near his program, and AV certainly wasn't letting Mike even get close to us with our program. So that the much different personalities at the top, which is why we went to the conference finals. And then the year after that, they went to the Stanley Cup finals. It was a different program in Vancouver when I was there. So it might be Meddlesome now because of all that, but the dad was still in charge when I was there. And it wasn't like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tommy? Any sort of no horror stories?
I'm trying to go through like the team. I mean, when I was in, I'll go through them all. When I was in New Jersey, I don't even know who owned the team. I never saw them. Yeah. Now, granted, a lot of these teams, I wasn't there for very long, so maybe I should just focus on the ones where I was there for. Carmanos and Raleigh, I never saw him. Like I never, once in a while, but he wasn't around. And even, I just touched on the Blue Jackets, but the McConnell family, like. They weren't, not that I saw, like we would see them when they have a party to kind of kick off the year, and maybe you'd see them every once in a while, but like I didn't get the impression that they were involved at all, really, especially like on the hockey end of things. So, I don't have any stories like at all, but I'm sure they exist. Like they have to exist. Yeah. I'm sure lots of them exist. Yeah. I just can't think of any. I'm trying to think of like some secondhand ones that I heard, but I can't really even think of that right now. I don't really have much to add there.
What a time to be a Leafs fan.
Yeah. They wait till they hire somebody that no one's heard of. That's going to be, that's the problem is doing it there. You can do it in Carolina. You can have the data guy, but if you don't, you need you need a hockey guy up there just to answer questions properly.
To wrap this all up and bring it back to the Leafs with what we kind of just touched on, the guy that was getting the massage on the table is on the short list with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. I am not saying anything more. It won't be very hard.
Wow, that's a good. Yeah, that's a good lead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
there you go.
He's on the list.
Chew on that, Leafs fans. He just made the list. By the way, if you have a question for Commie Razor for the Clearing the Crease podcast show, don't forget to use the hashtag AskCTC. AskCTC, and we'll try to find time to get your question in on a future episode. Okay, time for Don't Puck It Up. Guys, let me throw this one here to start. My Don't Puck It Up this week, the Carolina Hurricanes. Commie, your franchise, where you got your ring, 3 conference final appearances since 2019. They've won 10 playoff rounds in that span. That is a tremendous run for an era of Canes hockey. But at some point, you need to break on through. Top seed in the East. Don't puck it up, Carolina, but I think you're going down to Ottawa.
Ooh, the Caniacs. The Caniacs will not like that. No. We just lost some Caniac fans. I'll stay along that same theme. It's not really a don't puck it up because they've had an incredible year, but I will go back to Buffalo. Don't puck it up, Buffalo Sabres. It's been an incredible year. I've seen there's billboards out and torching people, and everybody's excited. And Buffalo is an incredibly fun place to play. Let's get out of the first round. I know it's not going to be easy, and the big bad Bruins have some experience. So I don't want to say it's like pucking it up if they do lose, because that's a little harsh, and I don't want to be harsh on the Sabres. But let's see if we can get at least a round out of this.
I'm going to go to the West, and I'm going to go to the Colorado Avalanche. And don't puck it up, Colorado. Yeah. This isn't a layup in the first round. You're getting LA, you're getting Anaheim. We're going to
maybe Edmonton.
Maybe Edmonton. Don't be another one of those teams that we talk about, whether you're the Boston Bruins, the Winnipeg Jets. We can go through all of history and losing early in the playoffs. Don't puck it up, Colorado. Get your sights set, get your goaltending organized, and get the Nate Dogg cooking.
That's a good one.
Love it. There we go. A lot of dope pucking up, some good ones this week. And on that note, that'll bring an end to this week's Clearing the Crease podcast. Playoff time is here. It's awesome. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube for more Clearing the Crease content, powered by Ozoon.net. Follow along on Apple, Spotify, X, Instagram, TikTok, because the road to the Stanley Cup is happening. It's game time right now, and the clearest route to winning big is to play on Ozoon.net. Ozoon's got you covered for all the props, game lines, futures from now until the Cup final and beyond. Make your power play. Score big with Ozoon. It is your turn now. The games are happening. LFG, he's Kami, he's Razor. I'm Cybulski. See you next week on the Clearing the Crease podcast, powered by Ozoon.net.